File in here, everybody. File in here. Shout out to everybody as you walk in here. Shout out to the room. Shout out to my back office. I'm taking attendance. Back office present. Mess Williams present. Rick Party, where are you? And my other back office that shall not be named. We'll call him back office guy. Shout out to the room. Rick Party just walked in the building. Everybody let him know I just took attendance. I want all of your time. Welcome everybody as you walk in here. Good evening. It is Wednesday, November 2nd. Let this breathe. Y'all trying to see what my work is about? Let's get into it. You know what time it is.
Finally, a show with an array of topics. I mean, she talks about it all. The Natasha Simona Sequence, Evening Edition, begins now.
Shout out to the room. Shout out to the entire room. Shout out to every single person that's walking in here. Take your shoes off at the door. Get What was that? Get comfy, get cozy. Shout out to everybody walking in here. Let's get into it, everybody. Let's get into it. Come on. You know how I do. It's loud. We got music. We've got bells. We've got whistles. We got it all going on. And shout out to my agent. I didn't listen, my phone is not on Do Not Disturb. This is happening in real time. Shout out to my agent. Somebody's got a booking, and I'm not capping, as these kids would say. I just saw the headline of, when you get an email, you see like the bold print, the subject, and then you see the hello. Things happen in real time and in real life. Let's get this popping. I'm a little hype. I really hope my live doesn't get messed up because I forgot to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. Wonderful. So just act normal. If we have to restart this, we're going to do what we got to do. So shout out to the room. Shout out to everybody as you file in here. Welcome to Thursday. Thursday is tomorrow. Hope we make it. But welcome to Wednesday, November 2nd. Nope. Today's November 3rd. Hold on a minute. Nope. Today's November 2nd. How come the date isn't written down here? What did I do? Why did I do this? Okay. 11/2. All right. Everybody, I hope you had a wonderful day. I had a very busy day and my tummy hurts. I'm trying to figure out what I ate and what I didn't eat. I'm having some tummy issues. So, glad you're not in the studio with me. Pretty girls part 2. Pretty girls have tummy issues. Aw, too bad I'm not a pretty girl. Whoever said that must have been really pretty. Anyway, everybody, listen, I had a day. I was on the phone until it almost died. And luckily I had my charger with me, but it was just one of those things where I hate when my phone is under a certain percentage. And then all of a sudden, my kids, there's a Starbucks near their school. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of going all the way home to do what I have to do, I have my items with me. Let me just pop a squat right here and do what I got to do. So I'm doing what I got to do. And I'm like, uh-oh. My tummy hurts, so let me go home. Okay. I'm on the phone. I'm working both phones. I got the computer open. I got this phone going. I got that phone going. I'm like, if anybody like tries to look over here, it looks like I'm doing a transaction that's kind of suspect. So nonetheless, I pack up and I'm making my way downtown. I'm making my way back home. And next thing you know, the kid's school calls and I'm like, I almost didn't answer, but I looked at the time and I said, okay, them calling at this time means something. So I answer the phone. I'm like, hello. And she goes, hi, is this Amir's mom? That's my 13-year-old. I said, sure is. What can I do for you? And all I'm thinking is slow down because I don't go to school close to, I don't live close to my kid's school. So it's like once I leave the area, those little cutie pies are staying in school all day long. They got to be bleeding out of a weird place for me to have to come back, if you understand what I'm saying. And so she goes, it's no emergency. And that's when I put my foot on the gas. Keep it moving. Because I got to go to the bathroom. And I'm not going to a public bathroom. This is the one where I got to take off all of my clothes. So now I'm charging my phone because I need a full charge while I'm sitting there so I could message people back. And I'm like, as every light gets closer to my house, it's harder for me to sit and not squirm. Why is it that when we have to go to the bathroom, no matter what we have to do, as we get closer to our house, you feel like you are just going to explode in the moment? Somebody give me the medical and scientific breakdown on why that happens, because I swear to God, I was in the parking lot and I'm on the phone and I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, for Christ's sake, I gotta go in all ways. I almost did not make it. So going back to the kid's school calling me, and she's all cheery, you know, she's trying to be cheery. She's like, I just want to let you know that Amir, he broke his fall. And I'm thinking to myself, you calling me for some real foolishness right now. Are you not getting enough work at the school? I got to talk to the principal. So she's like, he broke his fall in gym. This was like 2 hours ago and he tried to really tough out the pain. And then I start feeling bad because my kids really try to tough their pain out. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, he just wanted to come in here and, you know, I can't do anything other than blah and blah and and ha and right. So I'm like, so now I'm in my car. The nervous feeling has dissipated. My son is okay. So now now my concern from my child has now gone back to me containing myself from not just exploding on myself on the way home. And it's a lot of control that I didn't even know I had that was happening. So there I am hitting every red light possible. And I can't take the highway to my house. Giving you enough geographical information and that's all you get. So now I'm hitting every possible red light and I'm like, Christ, all I need is a ticket and for a cop to be like, ma'am, why are you driving, 50 on the main street? Because, officer, I have to take a Okay. So I said, are we back? Let me know if I'm back. I need my back office to let me know if we're back. Rick or my back office, let me know if I'm back. Okay. And also let me know if my words are in sync. See, and let me tell you what happens. The school was calling me, but it's their recording that calls me. Look at the devil. So going back to the story, I now politely say, I said, okay. I said, is my son in this office with you? And she goes, yes, he's right here. I said, am I allowed to speak to him? She says, of course you can. So my son comes on the phone. He goes, hey, mom. I said, hi, my little sweet baby. I said, what happened? So he tells me what happened. I said, okay. I said, here's what happened. I said, you remember mommy was an athlete. I said, you're okay. I said, do me a favor. I said, I want you to take your hand and raise your hand like you're about to grab $1 off of the counter. I said, did you do it? He says, yes. I said, did it hurt? He says, yes. I said, but you did what I told you to do. He says, yes. I said, okay, your hand is not broken. Your wrist is not broken. You might have a little hairline fracture. And so now I go through the whole breakdown with him. I said, you're okay, son? I said, you really don't fall and hurt yourself much? There you go. I said, if it continues and you really feel like this is affecting you and you can't get through the rest of the day, call me for another assessment and I'll think about coming to pick you up. He says, okay, Mom. I said, Amir, I said, take your ass back to class, okay? I said, I love you. He goes, okay, Mom, I love you too. So I said, if the lady wants to get back on the phone, let me talk to her. So she gets back on the phone. I said, hey, how are you? Mind you all, my heart is racing. I'm borderline thinking I might need to go to the emergency room because I don't know what in the high blood pressure is happening. I'm still on a high from last night from when Uncle Snoop walked in the building. But nonetheless, I'm focused on not completely crapping myself on the way home. So I said, ma'am, thank you so much. I've assessed the situation with my son. When he comes home, I will stabilize his hand with a wrap. I would like for him to proceed with the rest of the day. I said, however, if anything else, acts up, I will come and get my child. I said, so send his butt back to class so you can tell she's holding herself together. But meanwhile, I'm really containing myself from not using some high curse words because I'm still in the car. I'm getting closer to the house. And you know what happens as you get closer to the house when you have to use the bathroom? It is slowly feeling like I'm about to completely crap all over myself and I'm trying to figure out what I had. Now, if you were with me on my morning show this morning, remember I said I had a migraine? So there I am with an active migraine. My whole face right here is somewhat paralyzed because my jaw locks up. So this whole bone that holds your face together is completely in pain, every part of it. So I'm driving with one hand, massaging my face with the other hand, and clenching my butthole and my stomach together, praying to God that I don't have some kind of brain aneurysm and crap event on the goddamn street while I'm trying to navigate if my 13-year-old broke his wrist. Why? And then my guest for tonight, I'm going back and forth with the PR to secure his time. It was too much happening. So now I got the school lady off the phone. The other phone is ringing. I said, I can't talk to another person. And then next thing you know, Rick Party calls, the executive producer here. Everybody knows Rick Party. I'm like, hey, Rick, what's up? And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, absolutely nothing. I'm driving home. He's like, you okay? Yup. Then my back office girl calls. So I got to be upbeat with her or else she gets really concerned. She's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, for Christ's sake, everybody is calling at one time. What can I do for you now? And she's like, well, you got to remember to do this and this and this. And she's reaming off a whole list of stuff I got to do for the Natasha Simona sequence. Then in my personal life, there's some open tabs. Then I got to email this person. And I came to sit at the computer for the show today and I see the email and never press send. And then she's like, and then you got to renew your passport because, I can't mention it, but your girl has a project in the works and I need my passport to be renewed immediately. And all I'm thinking is if she doesn't get off the phone with me, it's going to be a problem. So I pull up to my house and right before I got into the parking lot, I said, okay. She goes, are you sure you're okay? And I was like, I'm just a little bit overwhelmed right now. Just a little bit overwhelmed. And she goes, okay. She goes, all right, don't worry about it. And she goes, everything is going to be okay. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, all right, thank you so much. And she goes, what's up with the guest tonight? I said, you know what? I got to call you right back because my chest was beating out of my soul because here I am downstairs. And all I'm thinking is I cannot make it up the driveway. I might have to go use the bathroom by the pool. And I'm like, this ain't it. The building can't see me like this. So I speed through the parking lot and there was an accident in the parking lot. So now I'm like, please God, don't let anybody be coming out of the parking lot because I'm going to, it's going to be an accident. And I get upstairs and the phone rings and it's the PR guy calling me again. I'm like, hello? And he's like, hey, and he's giving me, I got to call you back. And he goes, all right, Miss Lady. Needless to say, I made it. Shout out to the entire room. I made it. But it's an issue. I want to shout out to everybody that's in here. I want to say a special shout out to the sweetest chocolate drop you would ever see. Her name is Grulaine. And sitting next to her in the chocolate drop department is Coco Robinson. I want to shout out to all of my the deep chocolate sisters in the building. The ones that have the deep dark skin that looks like it just came out of the pot of melting fresh cacao. Hi, ladies. Shout out to everybody else. Today's not your day. It was their day. I'm kidding. Shout out to everybody in the room. I'm serious about those two, though. Those are two real people. Shout out to everybody in here. We've got a really amazing guest that's coming up shortly. His name is Dallas Jackson. He is a writer, producer, director, husband, father. He's literally like everything. The man wears many, many hats. He's got a new movie coming out starring Tyrese Gibson, Terrence Howard, and Jeremy Bivens. That's going to be a really interesting and fun conversation. It's going to be my first time ever speaking to him, so I'm just really excited for him. But before he gets in here, everybody make sure your shoes are off. You got your drinks. In the name of today being a very high blood pressure, intense day for me, I've got anything you want, you can have. There's no restrictions on today because you all deserve it for sitting by and listening to my story of horror. If you are new here and this is the first time you are seeing a show outside of yesterday's show, welcome to the Natasha Simona Sequence. I am your crazy host, Natasha Simona. So sit back and relax, and for the next 90 minutes while time has gone, so you do the math conversion, I'm going to be your entertainment if you so choose to stay. I would like if you stay, but if you got to go, well then, okay, we'll just come back another time. Listen, everybody, today, is an interesting day when it comes to the headlines. Here we go. You know, this story, it's interesting to me. And here's why. So we've got Dwayne Wade, we've got his ex-wife Siobhan all the way to the left. When you guys look at the screen, does it look like it's to the left of you? It looks like it's to the left of me, but whichever way. And in the center of mom and dad is Zaya Wade. At this point, I don't even remember what Zaya's former name was, but Zaya does. This is the name Zaya is going by. Zaya is considering, they're in high consideration, highly considering. How do I want to phrase that? She's going through gender reassignment consultations and wanting to legally change her name to Zaya. And, you know, Siobhan has had her own personal issues, and unfortunately it's played out in the media. Dwayne has moved on and married Gabby, and that's, you know, I don't care to necessarily go down that rabbit hole. It's not one that, you know, I really, it's not in my repertoire to talk about. But here's the thing. Zaya's original name was Zion. Thank you. I was going to say that, but I was like, am I correct? Because we have a Zion here. Zion is the baby girl of the show, daughter of Rick Party. Sidebar and fun fact. But nonetheless, Zaya is a lovely child. You heard what I said, right? Zaya is a child. And I might say something here, not to offend anybody, but I'm a mother. So the words that I'm saying are coming from a motherly place. I feel like Here's the deal. Here's the deal. And let's straighten up and be serious. I really love the fact that we are in a time where we can accept people for who they are. The LGBTQ plus community has endured a lot over the years. I have a brother who is of the LGBTQ community. I have other family members that are part of the community. I have friends, very close friends, who are part of the community. And a 35-second background or less about me: I am first generation American. My dad is Jamaican. My stepdad is Jamaican. And my mom is Guyanese. Do I need to go on? And we were brought up in religious family foundations. Enough said. So we, in particularly, weren't brought up to necessarily embrace that culture the way it is being embraced today. And so I love the time that we're in, where freedom and expression of yourself is accepted now versus back then. However, gender reassignment, legal name change, it's, if you have to be a certain age to drive, you have to be 16 to legally operate a moving vehicle. You have to be 21 in order to purchase alcohol legally. You have to be 18 years old to, you're 18 years old is the full legal age of adult consent in this country. So why, how old is Zaya? 13, 14, 15, 13 years old or something like that? I don't agree that this should be happening even if the parents are allowing it, because I guarantee you that if I take my 13-year-old child to the liquor store, okay, Zaya's 15, okay, 13 and 15 is the same goddamn thing when it comes to legalities. Excuse me, but thank you. I'm not yelling at you. It's just the mother in me. It's the rile up that's happening, because what I don't understand is why Dwayne Wade and Gabby, whatever her participation is as a bonus mom, is pushing this and not speaking up more on these children who are in the same bubble as their sweet child, to say, listen, we are grateful to be part of a loving community. We support any and everything our child is doing. However, we don't want our influence of yes or no decisions to impact what our child is doing. And until they get to an age where they fully understand their body and they have their mindset is fully developed. Hello? I also feel like there's a lot of overcompensating that's being done in entertainment when it comes to certain things. Now, listen to me carefully. I'm all for inclusion. I'm all for diversity. But do I need Disney to go in and start remaking some of these classic movies and shift it to represent the LGBTQ community? No. Going forward, if there's ways that you want to implement the community to show inclusion and diversity, that's fine. Now let's pull apart something really quickly. I don't want to stay too hard on this because I know I'm going to get even more emotional here. when you look at movies like Cinderella, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Beauty and the Beast, and you see the princess and the prince kissing and all those things, as a mother, would I necessarily write the script that same way with my knowledge and mindset today? No, and here's why. I don't think a 5-year-old should really care to see a man and a woman kissing to the extent that these movies have depicted. But nonetheless, they were made at a time period where that's what it was, and it is what it is. If you get what I'm saying. You can fix what's going forward. Hello? So because those movies were made and it's done, now I feel like Hollywood, because of the inclusion and overcompensating that's happening, well, we need to go in and have same-sex couples on these movies. No, you do not need to do that to show your support for this community. What you need to do is have messages that shows inclusion, but you don't need to have these characters to show children that, hey, 2 girls can kiss. No. Let me calm down. So when I sit in some of these conversations and people go, well, you're okay with Cinderella. That's what we were raised on. But as an adult now, looking at the whole scope of things, not really. They drugged Sleeping Beauty. Hello? They drugged her. Am I okay with not Cinderella? Did I say Sleeping Beauty or Cinderella? They drugged Sleeping Beauty. You want to dissect Cinderella? I was Cinderella one year. Where's my mother in here? I was Cinderella one year. I was Belle one year from Beauty and the Beast. Cinderella was a whole slave locked upstairs in the family attic, sweeping away, talking to freaking mice. So now you want to dissect mental health while we're at it? Hello? She was there talking to the mice, and the mice were talking back to her, and she was sweeping in the attic. They locked her in the attic. So now we're going to go in and talk about child abuse, right? Knock it off. Do you know what I'm saying? So don't, there's a lot of overcompensating that's doing too much. Now let's bring the story back to Zaya. I think that this mother, now I don't know her. I would love to have a conversation with her. So if you know, Siobhan, send her over here. I think, I honestly feel like she is not getting a fair shake at being a mother. She's still these children's mother. And I only know what we know in the media, but I feel like any and everything that she has gone through, that the public was able to dig up and drag her through, they stripped her rights away as a mother. They stripped her rights away to speak to her child as a mother. And the influence that was given to this child that is on the screen was without this child's mother. And I think it is wrong. And I hope to God that whatever petition that she has put together to stop whatever judge is going to okay the legal name change and sex of her child, I hope this petition rules over. Because I don't think that Dwayne Wade and whomever is in his ear and in his camp are doing this child any right by proceeding with this. Now, this woman says that she feels like Dwayne and them are exploiting their child for media attention and money. That's what was written, and that's what I'm reporting. I think it's horrible. I think it's disgusting. And while I'm here for this child to be expressive, I do not think anything permanent should be done. I think, all of the dress up and all of the things that she is doing, let her play, let her explore, but let her make her own decisions. Shame, complete shame on this whole situation. I'm done. Everybody, let's take a little break. Let's take a little stretch. I need to Let's drink something really quickly. Listen, our guest is about to walk in here, so everybody just act normal. I have a feel-good story, but we ran out of time. Sorry. You all know when I go down the rabbit hole and I get emotional about something, you got to give me a moment. You got to give me a moment to get it off my chest. I'm sorry. Let's get Dallas Jackson in the building really quickly so we can have a change of pace and a change of conversation. What is going on here? I cannot find him. Maybe he's not in the room yet. Wonderful. Rick Party or my back office girl, can you please tag Dallas Jackson? I need help really quickly. His IG name is DJClassicz. Dallas DJ Classics. In the meantime, as we await Dallas, I wanna shift this a little bit to a nice feel good story. Look at Lamar. Look at Lammy. Isn't Lammy wonderful? Lamar Odom has really gone through some life. And while the media made fun of him and ridiculed him, he was on the Kardashian show and all of that stuff. I really feel like sometimes we have some people searching for some love because they lacked it as a child. They don't have self-love and all that stuff. Well, here's a story that really, I was like, wow, you never really see that. So you all remember when Lamar had his hiccup with drugs and all that stuff, and he ended up in a coma, almost died. Well, he said when he has a new podcast, by the way. So shout out to Lamar. He has a podcast. It's called On the Low, as in ONTHELO, On the Low. And, he said that when he got up out of his coma, he checked his bank account and it was like -0. And he got scared and he's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And the first thing he thought of was to sell his rings. And he said he was very embarrassed. It was a very low moment in his life. And, he did it. And he sold his rings. One ring he sold for $36,600. And the other ring he sold for $78,000. And he said that money really carried him a long way. And he also claims that money is probably what led him to even be here at this point, like to, get him through all kinds of therapy and all that stuff. And so he said years go by, the money is doing what it listen, anybody been broken here? You know how to stretch a dollar. So, while we're all, I was looking at those numbers like, shit, what do I have in my house for $36,000? Hello? How much are those shoes over there? I got a Valentino suit in my closet. Sorry, Auntie June. I got to sell that. I got a Valentino bag. I think I could get an easy, 3,000 off of that. Everything is going for sale. You know what I'm saying? Who has stuff that they could sell for $36,000 and $78,000? I'm just saying. So I'm reading this story, but lifestyle. He has a different kind of lifestyle. So anyhow, a couple of years go by and the Lakers were gracious enough to send him some really good tickets to the Lakers game. So here's Lammy showing up to the Lakers game and he sits down to watch the game and he sees a guy that's typically always there. And, he doesn't give the actual name, but, the guy comes over to him and says, hey man, you're Lamar Odom. And the guy, Lamar smiles and he goes, yeah. He goes, I bought your rings. And so Lamar said, he was still a little embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Like imagine having to sell your stuff. And so Lamar was really embarrassed and he was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Do you know the man that bought Lamar's rings said to him, let me know when you want to come pick them up. Isn't that special? Isn't that special? And Lamar said in that moment, he realized like, wow, these Lakers, like there's some true blue diehard Lakers fans. And, that to me spoke to me because, I feel so, I hate to say that I feel bad for Lamar, but when you see people's lives play out in public you just want to hug them. Like I just want to hug Lamar. I just feel like he just doesn't. He's never given like the fair shot. He gets clowned, he gets joked on, and I just feel like there's nothing funny. I really, really hate bullies, and I talk about this so openly. I was bullied as a child. I've been bullied as an adult. I'm very open with my story, and it hurts my feelings. And all I want to do is just hug Lamar and, like Lamar, I'll be your friend. I don't think he always makes the best choices when it comes to his friends and relationships and things like that. And so I could just imagine, his heart wanting that piece of his life back. His 2 championship rings. So at any rate, that definitely, I'm a crier. I wanted to cry. And so shout out to Lamar Odom. I would love, love, love to have a conversation with him just to, like check in on life, see how he's doing, see how he's liking, the podcast world and, talking behind the microphone and all that stuff. And, just tap in. So, everybody, I want to see some hearts for Lamar. I don't know. Let me see some white hearts. I just want to see white hearts just for peace and purity, for Lamar Odom. Lamar, you want to stay on the screen with me? You can. Let's see. Did our guest get into the building? Let me see something. There is somebody. I don't know if this is our guest in particular. This is not the name that was given to me. Let me see something. Oh, I don't know if this is the person who's supposed to be here. I don't know if this is our guest. This is not the name that was given to me, but I don't know if the person is coming in under a different screening. Is the guest? Hello? What's happening here? Tony said don't do it, but I already pressed the button. Okay. I don't know. Hold on a second. Let's see if we need to phone a friend. Let's get on the line. Everybody just act normal. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. Gotta make a call. Oh, no. Rick, Hardy, please call the 8400 number. Please, somebody help me here. I don't know what's going on. In the meantime, moving forward, I don't know who. Shout out to everybody in the room for your patience. When lives are live, when interviews are live. It's in sync here. Okay, was I not in sync? Hold on one second, everybody. Please give me 1 second. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but we're just gonna move forward. Hold on 1 second. Now I gotta. Hey. Okay, everybody. Shout out to the room. Shout out to the entire room. In the name of moving forward, we move forward. This woman on the screen, her name is Spice. She is an amazing reggae artist. If I can go a step further and call her the new reggae queen, the new reggae dancehall queen. Hello? Unfortunately, Spice went and did some surgery in the DR, and reports are saying she's had some complications going on. The last I checked, there was some serious complications happening with her, and it's not looking too good. And I hate to say it like that, but that's what every single report is saying. And I have to say I'm quite concerned. Now, a lot of us were introduced to her on the show Love and Hip Hop. Was it Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Everybody, let me know. It was Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, I want to say. I'm like 98% sure it was Love and Hip Hop Atlanta where we were introduced to Spice. And there was an episode on the show that she went and like she fake bleached her skin and all that stuff, and it was a message that she was trying to get out there, and she was just talking about and again, I'm first generation American. A lot of Jamaicans growing up, like, that's what I saw, them bleaching out their skins. And in other countries they do this as well. There's a higher the chemical that's in these skin bleaching creams. What is it? Hydro something or another. But anyway, a lot of times they outsource these creams that are made elsewhere that's not FDA approved here in America. And, they were not intended. Oh, you know what? Let me not go down the intention of these products. I know I used a lot of products to, excuse me one second. Hello? It's, hello? It's, yes. What the hell? Absolutely, because the guest is not here. So I was trying to see if you can. Okay, everybody. Um, so yeah, so the skin product was used a lot of times to clear up any hyperpigmentation and discoloration of the skin. But of course, people can hydroquinone. Thank you so much. Um, People have used that to bleach their skins and so on and so forth. Why do I keep saying skins? I'm not sure what the problem is. But nonetheless, she did that episode, and she really was trying to promote like self-love and all of that. And now for her a couple of years later to do this is concerning to me. I just got word from my back office. The manager says she's not in a coma. Okay, well, I don't know if I said she was in a coma. I'm sorry if I did say she's in a coma. I just know she's not doing well according to reports. She's got some complications that's happening, and I just feel it's very ironic and sad at the same time. Now, here's what I have to say about this. I think that the entertainment industry puts a lot of pressure on everyone. And I was about to say women, but honestly, I feel like I've seen men go through a lot of different surgeries and injections and all of that stuff that is not widely spoken of, because it's like almost like taboo to see a man go through liposuction and, all of those things. And in the name of perfection, but what is perfection? What do we depict as perfection? I don't know. I don't know whose body, like, I have had conversations with different, like, even as simple as my dentist. Not too much on looking at my mouth, but I've got a lot of work that needs to be done on my pearly whites. And I've literally talked to my dentist, and my dentist has said to me, do you know? He said to me, okay, this was the question. Shout out to my dentist. He watches the show. Hello, can you just do my mouth for free? Pro bono, please. Closed mouths don't get fed. No, but he literally said to me, he was like, well, whose mouth do you want? Like, who do you want to look like? I was like, excuse me, I want to look like I just want straight teeth, and I want all my teeth in my mouth. Some are missing. Shout out to the side missing teeth community. Teeth are expensive. But back to the story. We then opened a whole dialogue on his patients coming in with photos of celebrities, and they literally say, I want my mouth and my teeth to look like this celebrity. And then they would go in to the dialogue and saying they're going to get their whole body done and they're getting like facial reconstruction and all types of stuff to look like a certain celebrity. And I'm like, are you serious? Now, living here in LA, I will say, when I go to the Whole Foods and the Trader Joe's and the Sprouts and the Erewhon, all of you girls are looking alike. I don't understand it. I don't understand the infatuation in wanting to have the same butt and breast and everything else like the next person. I don't know if it's because I grew up in a time where we embodied who we were. We loved looking like us. I don't know if it's because I grew up in New York and we just have a whole different attitude. It was like, I'm me. I don't want nobody to look like me. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to look like nobody else. Hello? I don't know what the mentality is today, but it's not even a younger generation thing. I'm seeing it across the board. I'm seeing even women who are in their 50s and 40s and 30s who are, so I don't know what is happening. And maybe I should have like I don't know. I don't know who would be better equipped to have a constructive conversation on this, but it's concerning to me because I literally ask myself, like, is there something wrong with me that I don't want to get my breasts done? First of all, shout out to my breasts that sit up quite high. 38 triple D sitting right. Let's get serious though. I've put on weight. There's no question about it, but I've never stood in front of the mirror that says, oh my God, I just want my waist to be small like so-and-so, or I want my thighs to be a certain way. Am I making sense here? I had one surgery in my entire life, and that was to get my feet done. But that's because that is a health issue. That, like, I ran track and I don't have ugly feet, but I could have. Shout out to my podiatrist. But that's a health issue. That's like, if we don't fix this, you're back, all these things can happen. But nonetheless, I feel like I'm sad for society today that runs to these plastic surgeons and shows up with a photo and says, make me look like this person. And they literally have photos of these celebrities. It's weird to me. It's sad to me. And unfortunately, do we remember when Usher's ex-wife, Tamika, when she almost died under the knife? And name a whole bunch of other celebrities who almost died or have died, under the knife. So I'm not shamming people that do it, but it's concerning to me when you don't even try to fix yourselves naturally. Was that mean? I have no intentions on being mean, but I just feel like, how about you try the gym? You know what I'm saying? How about you try changing your diet? How about you try, like, give yourself a look in the mirror. Once you try something different, give yourself 90 days to then transform and then look at yourself in the mirror. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because I'm also scared of surgery. I'm scared to go under. I'm just like, it freaks me out. Every time they've had to give me anesthesia, I could be at the dentist when they got to numb your mouth, and I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I call everybody and I'm praying. I'm like, I think I'm gonna die. You're like, really? You're getting an extraction. Get over it. I'm I'm frightened of anesthesia. So that alone, you ain't gonna see me going under the knife. Speaking of transformation, shout out to everybody that's joining me on my 4-month forever transformation. It started off with me and Dr. Ian and me asking him for help. I want to lose 60 pounds. And he said, this is what you do, and you're going to do it for 4 months. And I turned to all of you and I said, who's going to hold me accountable? And we have 47 people That's crazy. 47 people who have signed up to join me on this journey. Shout out to every single person that's been receiving their books and taking photos. My back office, my entire back office, except for one. The back office guy has not gotten his book, but the back office girl, her book is on the way. Rick Party got his book. And let's see if the back office guy is going to get his book. But my mother's on board, and a lot of you. Like I said, there's 47 of us that are part of this transformation 4 months to forever. So, I didn't. That's quite a segue. I didn't necessarily plan it like that, but it happens here. And so, I just want to say prayers up to Spice. Why did I bite my cheek like that? Prayers up to Spice and her family. I do hope that she pulls through this, and I really want this to be the harshest lesson we have to talk about. Give me 1 second. I've got some communications happening here. Moving on, everybody. Let's take a little stretch. Let's roll out our shoulders a little bit. If anybody wants to cam up really quickly, our guest will be walking in here shortly. I'm checking the question box to see if you guys have any communications that you want from me. I'm not, who is this in the, okay. If you want to cam up and talk to me about any of the stories, we can keep it going. Our guest will be in here in a few short minutes, but until then, let's get a good stretch out really quickly, and we all need a little bit of an intermission.
Finally, a show with an array of topics. I mean, she talks about it all. The Natasha Simona Sequence, Evening Edition.
Shout out to the entire room. Shout out to the entire room. Everybody, refill your drinks. Refill your drinks. Walk around, say hi to everybody. The place looks very beautiful. You all look amazing. Shout out to the room. Shout out to the entire room. I see everybody saying prayers up to Al B. Shore. Absolutely. I definitely talked about him yesterday. But just because I talked about him yesterday does not mean we cannot continue to keep him in our highest prayers. Al B. Shore is near and dear. And listen, he's always been very, very kind. The times that I was blessed to speak to him, he's a good friend to our executive producer, Rick Party. He's got stories that will make your belly hurt from laughing, and then in the next breath make you cry. So hopefully one day we can have a really good conversation with Al B. Shore. If you haven't already seen his stories, go see it after the show. Don't you leave here and go see his stories right now. Okay. He talks about everything that he went through, and I will say that looking at the photos that he posted, it's definitely not for the weak. To see this icon, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the man that brought us the movies that some of you made your babies to. I wonder if my parents were listening to Al B. Shore when I wonder, is my mom in here? Mom, I want to know what music was playing in the background in the creation of me. You dirty girl. Tell me what song you were listening to. No, but yeah, everybody had a crush on Al B. Shore. I mean, come on, look at this photo. You guys want to know a fun fact? If anybody is curious on what my children's father looks like, he looks like this. Do your own research. You can go down the rabbit hole. I've got a photo of me and the kids and their dad somewhere down years ago on my page. You know, when you're sitting on the toilet and you take your hand and you just scroll like this. When you find somebody. This is so bad. So, when you're scrolling on somebody's page and you're scrolling like the Wheel of Fortune wheel and you're like this, right? And you're like, you find this new person, you're like, ooh, I like him or I like her. And you're scrolling, you come across a photo and you see them, in the photo with somebody, you're like, oh, is that their wife or husband? Who's that? And then you click it and you're like, oh, that's the children's mom. That's the children's dad. Yep. You'll find a picture. My ex looks just like Albie Shore. And people used to call us an R&B couple. We looked good together. We made some really cute kids. I don't know why I'm talking about my ex as Albie Shore is on the screen. Disclaimer, full disclaimer, Albie Shore is not my ex. Hello, moving forward. That was weird. But Albie Shore was fine. Let me see. Was I thinking about Albie Shore when I met my ex? No, but I looked up at him. My ex is 6'3", 220 pounds. My sister saw him. She said, girl, I think he's losing his hair. I said, oh. But I looked up at him. I was like, ooh, can you sing? And he's like, sing? And I was like, yeah, can you sing? And he's like, what am I, fantasy? I'm like, I think so. See what happens, ladies? You see what happened? I thought I had me an Albie Shore. I had an Albie, nope. Dear Albie Shore, you see what happened? You see what you did to all the little girls that used to crush on you your whole life? We went out and tried to find a duplicate of you and messed me up. I think you owe me, Albie Shore. I think you owe me. So I need you to heal up. I need you to get better. I need you to be in the right mind so I can have a fair shot. Maybe he should come out with a reality show. For the love of Al, are you sure? Oh my God, that's amazing. For the love of Al, are you sure? I need everybody to clip this moment and tag Albie Shore. I just gave him the best reality show name. Albie Shore. Wait, what did I say? For the love of Albie Shore. No, for the love of Al, are you sure? Yo. For the love of Al, are you sure? And that's where, okay, let me tell you, we're going to plan it out right here. So just in case they steal it, we all can come back right here. So it's going to look like this. He's going to start it off by talking about just, obviously the start. We all want to see the old school Albie Shore, right? And then he's going to talk about his ups and downs in the industry. And it's all going to be based on love, him finding love. We're going to go through the Kim Porter days. We're going to talk about when he met Albie Shore Jr.'s mom and all of those things, right? And then he's going to talk about all his failed relationships. Then we're going to have a therapist on the show, and the therapist is going to be like, well, what are you holding yourself accountable for? What have you worked on, right? And then he's going to talk about that. We're going to see him crying a little bit. Then we're going to see him talk about health because now he's 54 years old. And then it's going to go into, well, what are you looking for now? Yep. And then, do you want more children? He's probably going to say no because he's a pop. He's got grandchildren and things like that. Or maybe he'll say yes, right? And then we're going to have ladies. This is not going to be like your traditional shows that we've seen, like For the Love of, so on and so forth, and all those things. It's going to be very classy. Oh, yeah. They're going to do therapy together, so we'll get a glimpse into what like a real couples counseling looks like. Of course, we're going to see the traditional dates and all those things. And then, yeah, For the love of Al, are you sure? I like it. And then I'll be the judge of some sort, not judge like judging the women. I don't like that because I don't want any woman on there to feel invalidated, like she's not good enough. But just as a match, like, we're really going to go through the spirituality of things. Al is very spiritual. He really goes into like spirituality and he's really into health. And we'll talk about all of that. and then I'll go through the women. So I'll be the bestie. I'm gonna be the friend. Yup. I'm gonna be the friend, and then there's gonna be another guy because I don't want the women to feel like, oh, she's no, no, no. So it's gonna be me and another guy. Maybe it's gonna be Rick Party because Rick Party is a good friend. And then we are gonna deliberate. You know what I'm saying? Yup. I like that idea. I love it. There we go. Everybody tag Albie Shore in here. Not right now. Not don't tag him in here to come in here. But this is it. And then the show is gonna end. I don't know how. I can't say the ending because then I'll spoil it. But on a serious note, straighten up everybody. On a serious note, please when you get a chance after the show, definitely go check out he put it in three parts. It's the first three, excuse me, it's the first three posts on his page. So check it out. You all will see what he has been through in the last couple of months. And I thank God that he has survived what was meant to what a lot of people probably don't even come out of. Like he had a tracheotomy where they put the hole in your throat and they put the breathing tube down your throat. He was in a full blown coma, and then he has like a whole incision in his stomach area. Oh my God, the incision looks. There has to be about 200 stitches there. Oh, Al, this makes me so sad to look at. Um, so just fair warning, it's not easy to look at. And then now, you see him walking and trying to I don't know, with the tracheotomies, when they remove that, I've heard a lot of interesting stories about that because it ruptures your I think it's called a larynx, your throat area, and some people never get the ability to talk again once they remove that tracheotomy. And yeah, I'm literally looking at this as I'm talking to you all over again. It's very, very sad. Um Anyhow, shout out to Albie Shore. 2023, I want him to take his time and recover. You know what, Al, I'm gonna give you about 6 months to just get right. And then, yeah, starting from like now, I'm gonna give you 6 months to get right from now. So where's 6 months? Where are we at? November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna give you until May to really like just get all this healing and all that stuff together, and get it all right. And then after that, I'm gonna give you like another 3 months to really just get back in the gym and get your sweating going and everything like that. And then we got to pitch the show, and then we'll end the year out like, maybe the show can come out in like September, and we'll film for like 2 months or something like that, and then it'll release in 2024. There we go. You all like my crazy imagination, right? Okay, it's time for our guest, I believe. Let me check in here. Let's see what's going on. Everybody just act normal. Um, and let's see what is happening with our guest for this evening, if he has walked in the building. Dallas, are you in the building? Mr. Dallas Jackson. Back office, can we tag it? Can we get, is it possible for anybody to, let's, tag him or something? Let me see. I don't quite see him in the building as yet. Or am I, let me see if I did something wrong here. Hold on. Ouch. Okay. Um, if my back office can tag this name in the building, here we go. His screen name is DJ CLASSIC. Thank you so much. Um, in the meantime, I will let you know that tomorrow's guest is really, really exciting. He has broken records as a newscaster in Chicago. So I'm looking forward to talking to Glenn Marshall tomorrow. Our guest just walked into the building. Shout out to Dallas Jackson that just walked into the building. Let's get a reset as Dallas takes his shoes off and we grab him a drink really quickly. Everybody act normal, straighten up, and let's reset this room really quickly.
Finally, a show with an array of topics. I mean, she talks about it all. The Natasha Simona Sequence, Evening Edition.
Okay, shout out to the room. Shout out to everybody that's in here. Our guest is about to walk in. He's getting comfortable. Everybody sit up straight. And let's welcome him in.
Let me
get right. You got a few moments. Pat your nose, get your hat right. All right, get your face right. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's go, everybody. Shout out to Dallas Jackson. Oh, here we go. Good evening, good sir. How are you? Welcome to the Natasha Simona Sequence.
I'm well. Thank you for having me. I apologize for the tardiness. It's my son's birthday, so I was blowing money fast at the mall on him. He turned 13 today.
Shout out to 13.
Shout out to 13. I remember 13 well.
You do? What do you remember? What do you remember about 13?
When I was 13, one of my buddies from high school, because I used to mow lawns when I was 10, 11, 12, my buddy said, "You want a job?" I just turned 13, and I said, I was like, "A job?" He's like, "Yeah, come to the zoo." I rode my bike down to the zoo the next day. I was like 13.3 days in, and they were like, "You want to work?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to work." They gave me a safari uniform.
No way.
Took me down to Gorilla Gazebo, which was the snow cone cart.
Uh-huh.
I started slanging up snow cones and nachos that day, making $2.75 an hour.
Okay, sir. How old are you?
$3.10 an hour. $3.10 an hour. Making $3.10 an hour.
And, how old are you? That $3.10 an hour was cool.
I was 13. It was bomb. I was like, I got a job. My parents were like, "Where were you?" I was gone like 8 hours. They were like, "We're about to call the cops." I was like, "I got a job." They were like, "What?" And that was 13, and I kept that job. I eventually made my way up to $5 an hour.
Oh my God, you were rich.
Yeah, I kept that job till I graduated from high school, man. And I went to Howard, and I had some money in my pocket.
Wow. So you grew up in Denver, Colorado.
I grew up in Denver in a neighborhood called Park Hill.
Okay. And is this where you were mowing lawns? Because Denver, I'm thinking snow. So were you mowing and shoveling at the same, like, you know what I'm saying?
Actually, I was mowing lawns in the spring and summer, and I would go shovel snow in the winter. I would do your walkway and your porch for $20, and I would mow your lawn for $15. And if you had a backyard, I'd do the backyard for even 20.
That's a hustler mentality. Like, you should be from New York, you know, specifically Brooklyn. Okay.
I went to Howard and was on the East Coast. I fit right in.
I know that's right. So when you went to Howard, did you pledge in any fraternity?
No, they were all, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but the ones that I was interested in were suspended. And during that time, there were a lot of frats and sororities that were not allowed back on the yard until like my last year. Even like AKs had been kicked off the yard for a while. Definitely Omegas, Kappas, and there was one other one in there that was like suspended for a couple years. And by the time I was a senior, and I was already kind of popular at Howard, I'm not gonna blow my own horn, but I was like, I'm not gonna get my ass whooped the last year of school. So I didn't pledge my last year.
On the yard.
On the yard.
So you were part of the communications, the famous communications, not graduate, but the communications, what do you call it? Not building, but program, the communications program. Clearly, I didn't go to college. Who's the
I wouldn't
dummy in
know.
this one, huh?
I wouldn't have if you. I'm assuming because you are a hustler and you have this thing going that you have some type of higher education. Maybe it's from the streets. I don't know.
Well, I would like to say it's the streets, but then my mom might, slap me through the phone because I'm not from the streets. But it's a hard knock life.
Look, you
um,
have to go to college, and I know a lot of dumb people that went to college. I hate to say that. So
well,
I believe you get a mixture of real life in that college world, and that's a nice balance. But as long as you are on your path to your dream, which I can see where you got it tricked out, you got the 2023 microphone, I heard you had Snoop on, special guest. You are doing quite well in life.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. But listen, it's not about me. It's about you. Hello, please. No, I appreciate that though. Thank you. So I do.
We're doing well. That's the bottom line.
I appreciate that. I do. So I do have a question. So here's this young, ambitious entrepreneur from Denver. You knew exactly what you wanted to do as you went into Howard, straight into the communications program. Now you graduate. What happens? What was that break, or how long did it take for you to really feel like, okay, my money is going somewhere here on my path to being this writer, director?
Sure. Well, look, I feel like Howard had prepared me for some things, but I needed to get real experience. And at that time, Howard's film program wasn't quite up to date, but there were some great professors that prepared me for some things. And I took a screenwriting class at Howard, and my professor told me I was a good writer. Now that, whether he was lying to me or not, that sparked enough courage in me. I wrote a script at Howard, and he had read it and was like, "You're good." So I knew I was going to move to LA and pursue writing. And I waited a year because I got a job on the Hill working for a lobbyist group. And my heart just wasn't in it. And my boss was like, "I'm going to let you move to LA. I'm going to fire you and pay you for 2 weeks, only if you leave and go to LA."
Oh, wow.
So I was like, "Bet, thank you." And a good friend of mine, Terry Savage, and I jumped in my Jeep and we moved to LA. And, it didn't happen right away. I was unemployed for like 6 or 7 months. All that little money that I had saved from my jobs in college was running out. And a friend of mine who was alumni at Howard, Todd May, rest in power, got me a job at Savoy Pictures. And Savoy Pictures was making movies. They were making Thin Line Between Love and Hate with Martin Lawrence. They had made Tales from the Hood. They had made this really bad movie, Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. And some other things. And they gave me the head of HR was like, "You Howard grads are really great. We got an opening in the mailroom." And I was like, "I'll take it." At that point, I took anything.
Wow.
And I was working in the mailroom at this movie studio, and I saw them buying scripts, and they were buying scripts for like $100,000, $200,000. And I had a friend of mine from Howard that was living in LA. He was at the junior CBS training program, CBS Junior Training Executive Program. His name is Ken Rance. Ken and I wrote sketch together at Howard, and I said, "Dude, they're buying scripts." In particular, I saw this one script. It came in. It had Bobby Brown's name on it, and the R&B singer Bobby Brown, and it had burn marks on it, like he had been writing and smoking and putting shit
Wow.
script, and they bought this script for like $150,000. And this was at a time where Bobby was hot, and I was like, "Yo, Bobby Brown is selling scripts." I mean, like, it wasn't even the script was a mess, but they bought it, and I was like,
Right.
"Hey, we went to college for this." So Ken and I got together. We wrote a script called Scary Dates. It was loosely based on some things he and I had gone through in our single lives, and we wrote it. We got a manager who went to Howard. His name was Topper Carew. Topper created The Martin Show. He managed Martin Lawrence at the time.
These name droppings are like amazing, by the way. Keep going. This
It's
is
just part of it's part of the journey.
this is so good.
And so Topper gave the script to Lori Lakin, who was the first like sister at 20th Century Fox who could actually buy scripts. And she read our script and thought it would make a great movie. And she was in charge of movies like How Stella Got Her Groove Back. And I think she was an exec on Soul Food. And she was an exec on Waiting to Exhale. And so she thought it was a great idea for a romantic comedy. The movie was basically Boomerang meets Tales from the Crypt. If that makes sense at all. And so they bought it. And so that officially got me in the Writers Guild. That officially got me and Ken an agent. That officially a lawyer, my same lawyer to this day, Darren Tratner.
Okay, wait, Dallas.
Yes.
How much did they buy it for?
They bought it for $25,000, which means me and Ken had to split 12-5, 12-5. But bigger than the money, because when they buy a script, you get a quote, meaning the next time you sell something, they have to refer back to the last price.
Okay.
We didn't have a quote. And at that time, the Writers Guild minimum for selling a movie was $25,000. So they gave us $25,000. They also gave us another $25,000 to rewrite the script. But
they gave you money to rewrite it.
They gave us money to rewrite. You know, you get notes from the studio and like, okay, we bought it. Now here's what we want to change. They pay you for that. And but what that did was it got us an agent. It got us an announcement. And at that time, Hollywood Reporter was where you did all your announcements.
Right.
And it enabled us to, we said, let's write another one. And so Ken and I wrote another one. So I would say from the time I got to LA to the time I sold my first script was probably about a year and a half, 2 years. It was fairly quickly.
Wow.
But there's bumps in the road, which we could talk about. But after that, I was able to sell 3 more projects with Ken. One was an action comedy, which was kind of like, it was called Repros. It was about 2 car thieves turned repo men. It was like our Rush Hour. And I got Marlon Wayans attached to that because Marlon and I knew each other from Howard. So we sold that to Fox. We sold a urban Scream because Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer was popping. And we were like, let's do that with black and brown kids. We sold that to Fox. Fox was showing us a lot of love at the time. And we sold a pitch. So a pitch is you go out, you pitch the idea of the movie, the story, and they buy the pitch. Now, selling those 3 scripts gave us street cred to go sell a pitch.
Okay.
And so that first little run was great. And that got me on the road to becoming a writer and legitimate amongst studios and whatever.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
So now you went from the mailroom and you're seeing all these scripts being bought. You're seeing these messy pieces of paper being bought for $100,000. You get the courage with your partner. You sell your first script for $25,000, right? Now you're going crazy. Now you're eating it up. Now you're like, oh, we sold 1, we sell 10.
It's like crack. Let's go. We got
right. Let's get it popping.
Instead of crack, we're slinging scripts.
But now I'm curious. So here's this humble kid from Howard. What is the first big purchase you made with this cheese that's rolling in?
The first thing, I'm not a big jewelry guy. I've always been a little silver and trinkets or whatever. I've always been a Jeep guy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeep, not cheap. Jeep. And I went to Land Rover because I was like, I'm about to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Land Rover for cash money, drove it off the lot because I didn't want a car payment.
Hold on. You said take
that. Let's go. Yeah, let's take all
right.
that.
And you drove off one hand on the wheel?
Yeah. And I had a boy roll with me so he could drive my Jeep home because I had to drive my old Jeep up there.
Right.
And with me, he drove my Jeep home, and I'm looking in the rear view like, dang, he driving my old car, and I got this new car. And it was interesting. But that was the one thing I went wild on. And
then you went to the club that night. Made it rain a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been like a super club head. I kind of got all of that out of my system at Howard. but I did. So just to jump forward just a little bit. So
Yeah.
Ken and I broke up. Ken wanted to go write romantic comedies. I wanted to do more action, sci-fi, horror stuff. And I hooked up with Master P, and Romeo was just popping. And I had this idea for a black ET. What if ET landed in Baldwin Hills and Lil Romeo found him?
Okay.
And Universal bought that movie. I can say it now because it was a while ago, but they bought that movie. They bought that script from me for like $150,000.
We've reached the 100,000s, ladies and gentlemen. You made it.
And so I remember I was like, I'm going to Miami. And I'd never been, you know.
You
And
thought
so
you were Will Smith? We're going to Miami.
Miami song was popping. Will Smith made it sound like it was cracking. So I went to Miami, got a really nice hotel, and I was in the pool, and I got a call from Universal. This is after the check cleared, and they're like, "Where's the rewrite?" And I had the nerve to tell the executive, "Oh, I'm in Miami. I'll get to it." And I know she was like, what the? But I was, you know, I was like 27. I was wilding out.
Right.
But I did do the rewrite. We almost got close to getting that movie made.
From the toilet of the hotel in Miami.
I was, well, again, now I'm a solo script dealer. So
Okay.
I'm BMF and I'm blowing money fast, but I'm also trying to bring it in fast.
Right.
So I did the rewrite. I really focused in on that movie after I had the audacity to tell the executive I'm in the pool in Miami. And they got a director on it, Jesse Dillon, who directed How High. And we got close, man. And it just was a weird, like, they put Romeo and Honey. And then Jesse got pulled into this Will, what's the crazy white dude's name? Will
Ferrell?
Will Ferrell.
Uh-huh.
He got a movie onto a Will Ferrell movie, and it just lost momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And Master P and I ended up, he was tired of development. He was like, because we sold another script to MGM called Little Romeo and Little Juliet. I made a lot of money for that script.
Oh my God.
And he was, but these things weren't happening fast enough for Master P. So he said, write a movie that I can finance. And we sat at Denny's over at UCLA, and I pitched him this idea for like him doing Mr. Mom, like Uncle Buck with Master P, like, but him playing himself going to take care of his sister's kids, and the sister's kids didn't know their uncle was Master P. And he was like, great, go write it. We went to Wells Fargo. He paid me out of his Soldier account. It was called the Soldier account. I remember that. And he also said, I want you to write Bout It too. Still Bout It. And hold on, let me exit frame real quick.
Isn't this good, everybody? Isn't this good?
So
Okay.
I ended up writing Bout It too, Still Bout It.
Wow.
Wait. Hold on. Stand by.
Everybody, I hope you all are learning.
This is Bout It. This is the first one.
Uh-huh.
I wrote this. Well, Still Bout It.
Okay.
On there, but I wrote. I was a little embarrassed by it at the time. I'm not embarrassed now. So if you look on the box, you can't see it here, but it's written by Skinny D, which was a nickname of mine from high school and college.
Are you still Skinny D? Are you still skinny?
I'm still Skinny D. Yeah. No shame in that. And so I got a grad school. Master P was my grad school because he allowed me to not only paid me well to write the script. First day of production, I'm at home because I'm like, I wrote the script. I'm finished. I wrote both scripts. And he's like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm at home. He's like, nah, bro, you supposed to be on set. You heard? And I went to set. He's like, you got an executive producer on both of these. You're supposed to be here. And it was great because I got to see the movie getting made. I got to be there watching the director, Bernard Gorley. And it was my grad school to see how a movie was made after I wrote it because I hadn't had the experience yet. And so shout out to Percy Miller, aka Master P, because he gave me access. And And then, you know, after the movie was done, Uncle P, because he was like, I'm gonna put Still Bout It out myself. He was like, I'll put this out myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go sell Uncle P. And I'm like, sell the whole movie? And he knew I had connections to studios from selling scripts. And he put me in charge of going to sell that movie. And I had a lot of pressure on me, like, how do I go sell an entire movie? But I did it. And what I did,
Wow.
at first we were like giving the DVD to executives to watch, and we weren't getting a response. And so one day I said, well, we're going to have to show it to an audience.
Yeah.
And we bust in some kids from the Boys and Girls Club. We invited some executives. Master P, before the executive showed up, broke all these kids off cheeseburgers and whatnot and was like, y'all laugh. Even if it's not funny, y'all just laugh.
Right.
And we had 3 executives in there, and we had a bidding war between 2 of them for Uncle P, because them kids was in there, their heads was exploding.
Are you?
And I learned from that, you know, that it's show business.
Yeah.
You make a movie, it's all good, but when you get ready to show it, have an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. It hits different when you're watching it with people. And we sold that movie to Beacon Pictures, who had a big deal with Disney at the time. And they made a deal with Nickelodeon, and Nickelodeon bought the rights, shared it with Beacon, and that led to Romeo having a TV show on Nickelodeon, because the spinoff of Uncle P was Little Romeo's show.
This is your life so far is amazing. Amazing. So now
Cold. I'm sorry. It's cold in LA. I'm sorry. But thank you. I mean, look, it's all part of the journey. I went broke after that. That we could continue the story.
no,
But
listen. I'm still living off from the mail guide to now. You got to 100,000. You went from 20,000 to now we're at 100,000. Now you've got the EP under your belt. You know what I'm saying? So you went. Now you got we saw the writer. Now we're seeing the producer. Well, producer and director kind of thing here. You're slinging scripts. I'm with it. Now we fast forward through life. You get to work with the late great John Singleton.
mm-hmm.
10 episodes of Rebel over on BET.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're moving up quite fast. I've been in LA for 6 years, and I'm sitting here like, after the show is over, I'm about to start slinging scripts. Okay, because
yeah, I recommend anybody, you know, that if you want to really be in this business, and John told me this, and John told my good friend Marlon Wayans this years ago, you have to create your own material, because nobody's going to hand it to you.
I received that. Let that breathe. I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. And if you just said this,
I'm going to give you one more piece of knowledge here. If you're going to be serious about it, get this book. It's called The Writer's Journey.
Back office, dear back office, please. I need to put that in my cart immediately.
Vogel and Vogler. He's got different editions. You could get any edition, but it shows you it breaks down Hollywood movies and screenplays and how to write a screenplay properly for a studio. I go into executives' offices, and this book, you can see the spine of it, is on their bookshelf behind me every time. If it's not, they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Can I borrow yours until Amazon delivers mine?
Yeah, here you go.
I live in LA. I'll just go right down the highway and come visit you.
Look, you can go to any store anywhere. This is staple here.
Wow.
The Writer's Journey. And this book helped me and Ken sell our first script. I defer to this book on every script. I've sold about 13 scripts now. I don't pick this book up during every process. So fast forward to your timeline with John. I went through a period, which happens to everybody, where after I sold Uncle P and I made some money and I was renting a home in Baldwin Hills, this is another, time I thought I was balling out. I was renting this house for $3,000 a month, and I had got a first look at 20th Century Fox, and which means if I had anything, I had to go let them see it first. This was around 2008. I got an opportunity to write a remake of this movie, The Last Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
which was gaining momentum. We had a director, Charles Stone. After everyone loved the script, they brought on Charles Stone. Charles Stone did Paid in Full and Drumline, and we got close to getting The Last Dragon reboot done. And then Sony regime change happened. And this was at a time where I was like, okay, this is going to be my big, this is before Black Panther or anything. I was like, this is going to be my big black superhero martial arts movie. Because I loved The Last Dragon as a kid. I had an opportunity to go get the rights. RZA was involved. And I put all my eggs in this basket, and it didn't happen. And so I had to essentially, I had money going out. I didn't have any money coming in. I had to move out of that house in Baldwin Hills. I had to move into a 1-bedroom apartment in what's called the Jungles in LA, South Central, because I had to move fast.
Oh, wow.
It was low. And I had to generate new material, which will get us to the system in Rebel. But I was in that 1-bedroom house with my 2 babies and wife for 4 years while I regrouped.
Wow.
And while I was in that 1-bedroom apartment feeling like a failure, and I had no choice but to keep creating, even though I thought I was here and now I'm back here, I met John Singleton at a party randomly. And Leon Isaac Kennedy, if you don't know who he is, Google him. He was in Penitentiary 1, 2, and 3. He's like this old sex symbol from the 70s. His wife was Jane Kennedy. Leon Isaac Kennedy introduced me to John and said, you young brother, you should be working with this brother. He said, John, this young brother's been doing things. Nobody knew I was in this 1-bedroom apartment. I was low key with that. And John said, where'd you go to college? I said, I went to Howard. He said, I wanted to go to Howard. And we bonded from right there. You know, he had love for USC, but he just was like, he always had this thing about HBCUs, which is why he always showed HBCU people love. Yeah. And we bonded right there. And we talked about movies, and we had mutual executives that we didn't like, and all this stuff that we were like, we bonded. And I waited a week. I didn't want to call him the next day. He gave me his number, and I went to sit down with him. And I pitched him Rebel, which was a pilot script my wife was writing in that 1-bedroom apartment. And because we all writing.
Well, I was about to say, is your wife a writer as well?
She is now.
I'm with it. I'm with it. You know,
she was writing before that, but at that time, we were like, everybody slang something up. Kids, you got something? Got a kid. We all slang. We getting up out of here.
Yeah.
And Scandal was hot, right? So it was like I could see a little bit of the future, which was this black female driven stuff was going to be around for a while. Because before Scandal, there was really no black women starring in shows for a while. You'd have the co-star, but not her show.
Well, and she was the one cleaning up all the mess. It was a different role.
The different role. Yeah. Shout out to Times, because she opened up a new chapter. And so John agreed. John was like, I've always wanted to do a modern day coffee, which was with Pam Grier's Coffee. And so I went back home to that 1-bedroom apartment that night, and I was like, I think John's going to rock with us on this. And he did. He gave us notes. He agreed to take studio meetings with me. He put it in my court, though. He's like, you book the meetings and I'll be there. I'm not going to pick. If you can get the meetings, I'll be there. And so, I pulled some strings, got us some meetings. Saying you got John Singleton want to come to a meeting, people are intrigued.
Right.
So we went on some pitch meetings, and we went to BET, and Zola Marshariki, who was head of BET at that time, said, I'll give you guys a pilot if John will direct it. And John agreed. It took a couple weeks because he was developing Snowfall, so he had to maneuver some contractual things. Snowfall was not on the air yet. And he agreed to do the pilot. In that pilot, while we were in the midst of shooting it, they said, we'll give you guys 8 more episodes. We like what we're seeing. And that got me out of that 1-bedroom apartment, and also led to me being able to direct my first movie.
Hello. Shout out to your determination.
What's going on? How do you do the special effects? When
I've got a soundboard over here.
yeah, I jealous.
Let's go. So I do want to just take one step back for a second. When it comes to, you did wonderful, amazing, iconic things and had these great milestone moments, and then you hit a peak and then a fall. Did you ever at that point in the 4 years where it's you and your whole family in this one bedroom apartment, did you feel discouraged and want to throw in the towel and just give up?
Yeah, honestly, I thought about Uber driving. We used to leave our shoes outside the apartment because we were still like, we ain't wearing our shoes in the apartment. We just had some kind of etiquette. And so I would still go to the gym. The gym was like, I swim every morning. So that was my therapy through this. And I went to the gym one morning, left, put my shoes on, got to the gym, went to change to put my swim trunks on, and a roach crawled out my shoe. And nobody saw it. I saw it, tried to kill it real quick. Nobody in the gym, in the locker room saw it.
Wait, so you brought a roach to the gym?
Yeah, it came out my shoe from the apartment.
You're so lucky it didn't crawl up your body.
There's a lot of things I'm lucky for. But that, to me, was like, I was so done. I was so, like, embarrassed and felt like nothing. And
Right.
I got falling out my shoe. I've already sold scripts. God, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
So getting in this Uber, because at that time, people were like, well, you can Uber drive and make like $500 a week. That's what they were saying, or whatever. I was ready to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I had no choice in my heart and spirit but to stay committed.
Yeah.
To what I had started, which is what I moved out here to do. And the meeting of Singleton was a blessing on so many levels, and he unlocked another level of potential with me in terms of, transforming my mindset into becoming a director.
Yes. So
and
sorry.
all of that time in there was part of the journey, and God sat me in that one bedroom apartment for a reason. And I also wrote the system in there.
And so now we've got the system, and you wrote this a little while ago, but not too far behind, and it's ready to be released. You have Tyrese Gibson, Terrence Howard, and Jeremy Piven as your leading characters in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
What is the message that you want the world to receive from this movie?
Well, the movie idea came to me because a producer sent me an article about this private prison in upstate New York, and these prisoners were being made to fight to the death. And that was a real article. And I was like, wow, this shit's really going on. And I just went down the rabbit hole of private prisons and the corporations that run them, and states stepping aside from regulations. And when companies step in, their main focus is product and profit. So if you're running a private prison and a chain of them, your product is the prison, and your product is the humans inside. Because if you don't have humans inside the prison, you don't have a product or a profit. And so how do you get people inside these prisons when there's more prisons being built than colleges? You import Black and brown bodies inside because they're the most accessible to get. And there's a whole system driving the private prison system based on Black and brown lives, male and female. And so I wanted to address that in the disguise of an action movie so I could get people to pay attention to it. Because if you put a little sugar in the medicine, it's easier to go down. And so the idea came from that, and I started to map out the story and the script and dressing it around the idea of martial arts and a fight scenario, and decorating the movie around this message about the private prison institution in the modern day, free labor going on, the abuse of these men inside, whether they're innocent or not, what's happening to them inside, and exposing the curtain, pulling the curtain back on what's going on, because it's affecting us, primarily Black men, the most. So, that's how it started. I would pick up the script and put it down, and something kept telling me, keep working on this.
Yeah.
And the idea that John said to me on the set of Rebel, you're a really good writer. Why aren't you directing? And I was like, I'm not you. And he was like, you're here with me. You're following me around. We're on a show together. Get a notebook, write down everything I'm doing. And I did that. And a company called Blumhouse, who did Get Out, and they do all these horror movies, found out I was shadowing John Singleton. They read my Last Dragon script. They had me come in, and they said, what are you doing that you could direct for us at a budget? And I had one of those scripts from Ken and I, The Black Scream, got the rights back to it, gave it to them, and they let me direct that. They offered it to me. I went and talked to John. He said, what have you been following me around for? Hell yeah, direct it. And I directed that movie, and that opened the door for later on the system and these other things I've been involved in. But again, it all came from the influence of John. And I told him about the system. And the first thing he said to me is, you got to go get Tyrese for that.
And did you think, when he said that, are you thinking like Tyrese has been in all the whole franchise of, Fast and the Furious, is he going to come over here, or was that an easy pull?
That was him sitting us down and going, y'all need to figure something out. Just like somebody sat he and I down.
That's amazing. So he gave back the same way.
Gave back the same way. Took me to Tyrese's house. Tyrese and I bonded right there. Our babies played together.
He ate at the Benihana's in the backyard.
Anna.
Wow. Oh, hold on one second. Wait, there we go. When you got the phone call, it took out your audio. Sorry.
Yeah, I ate at the Gipsy Hana. I ate at the Starbucks in his backyard. Went to the nightclub in his backyard. He had a lot of stuff in his backyard.
Yes.
But Tyrese and I bonded, and we just kept talking about the movie over a couple years. And when John passed, that was tough for us. I mean, it was a loss for a much bigger world.
The entire community, yeah, absolutely.
But for those of us that knew him well, we took it hard, and we also decided to keep his spirit alive. And whenever we could, this fraternity of people that had gotten their start with him, whatever we could do to help each other, we decided to do that. Or whenever we need to work together. So when I called Tyrese about the system and that I had the money in place and that I wanted to make him an offer for it, he was like, let's go. And that was the beginning of us, deciding to pay homage to our brother.
That's amazing. So the system is ready for us to view. Please let us know where we can see this masterpiece.
Well, look, I feel like, and all my projects are my babies. I got posters on the wall back here of my babies. This is my favorite child right now. No disrespect to my other babies, my other movies. It is currently in select theaters. Like, if you Google where you are, it was on about 200 screens last week. That is an independent movie release. But the bigger picture is it drops on Apple Friday and it drops on Amazon Friday. So you can rent it, you can buy it. And it is an action movie with a message, but it's also a martial arts movie with some cool characters, and everything that I love, I poured into it. And so you can check it out, right? In 48 hours in the comfort of your home.
So this Friday, everybody, November 4th, please check your Apple TV
Mm-hmm.
And where you said Apple TV and
Apple TV and Amazon.
Amazon, so Prime Videos, and
Yes.
we're all gonna watch this together this weekend. The System, starring Tyrese Gibson, Terrence Howard, and Jeremy Piven. Now, I want to release you back to your family. I have a 13-year-old, and this is an important milestone birthday. I hear them in the background. Daddy's coming, everybody. He's coming. You
All
are
good.
working.
Keep rocking, by the way. It's all good.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you so much. This has actually been a great inspiration for everybody that just walked in here. We have writer, producer, just amazing entrepreneur of the entertainment Hollywood business, Dallas Jackson. You are working on a new project already. Have you told the world yet? Can I say the name? Can we get a little insight on this new project that you got going on?
Which one you got? Because I'm back to hustler mode. I'm
you
back to what you got.
listen,
What do you?
listen. On a sidebar, I don't mind throwing on my sneakers, my Timbs. I'm from Brooklyn, excuse me, and driving down to 101 and shadowing you all over the place because your energy and your mentality and just your go-getter, walk in a room and get what you want. I'm with it. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Hey, the door is open, and I mean that. If I see it, then I'm like, okay, let's go. If I don't see it, I'm like, hey, well, we can talk about that, But no, I see it. That door is open, man. Look, somebody did it for me, right? You have to do the work, right? Nobody's gonna put you on. John didn't put me on. John
Right.
saw that I was doing the work and was like, I'm down with that. Just like he said, you book the meetings. I'm not gonna book the meetings, right?
Right.
Just like I gave him the script, he said, cool, I like this. You make it happen and I'm there. So I treat everybody the same mentality. You're putting in the work, you're doing the thing, okay, I'll support you in that. Just like my brother Marlon Wayans, he gets hit up all the time. I got something for him. He knows I'm putting in the work, right?
Right.
I see
Absolutely.
you putting in the work. I'm talking to you right now. I see you putting in the work. You're doing your thing. So that door is open. And you're supporting me. I didn't, you didn't have to have me on your show. So it's love either way. But I think that's in the spirit of how I operate. And another thing John always said to me is you treat everybody equally, which I've always believed in. But when you're working with somebody, from the PA to the first assistant director, you treat everybody with respect. And you'll be surprised how much love and support they'll give you. And you'll also be surprised how many people don't treat people like that.
Yeah. I trust me, I've done PA work and I understand it without them even knowing. Like, I'm also a talent, like this, like it's weird, but I appreciate you and your heart and extension, and I received that. I'll be talking to you after the show. Thank you. No, I appreciate you. So the project, 24/7. I've got it right in front of me.
Okay, that one. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I got it. I'm not trying to, I got a few, but yes, let's talk about that. That was based on, so amazing. I have all my stuff right here. That was based on this book called Notorious C.O.P.
Okay.
about Derek Parker. I randomly saw this book and was like, I need to go get the rights to this. Derek Parker was one of the youngest brothers in New York to become a detective. And because he was young and of the culture, he had his chain. When he wasn't on duty, he looked like a rapper. He would get the hip hop cases. And so he was the person that people went to from the culture for help. When they didn't feel comfortable going to the police, they went to Derek. And so what I decided I wanted to do with it, and we're in development with it at CBS and Paramount Plus now, is to turn it into kind of a Bad Boys, Beverly Hills Cop thing for the culture.
Nice.
New York cover, whatever you want to say, just a dope ass cop for the people, because we haven't had that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm developing it with 50. We're working on it. We'd love to try to get it going. And
2023 release?
Look, you speak it, gotta be listening. We gotta do this.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yes, but we have that, and there's a few other things that, I'm playing in an action. I'm playing in the sci-fi, and I'm playing in the horror space. That's what I love, and I'm trying to get a couple things. My next movie, that's a TV series. My next movie will be with Maurice Crump, who plays Freeway in The System. He's a real life martial artist, actor. He trained with Tony Jaa. He's the only brother to ever train with martial artist Tony Jaa. They had the same master.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do like a post-apocalyptic road warrior movie with martial arts element that Riza and I are gonna do together with Maurice.
Wow. This is.
I need that button.
I'll talk to you after the show and give you a little bit of the recipe. Okay, I got you. Listen, Dallas, if I could call you Dallas, Mr. Jackson. This really filled. I know it filled my soul, and from the comments, I see so many people just really so inspired from just your journey altogether. We're living in a time where everybody's trying to figure out their next career or the next thing, or just even if they want to stay where they're at, just pull inspiration from someone doing it and doing the work. So I thank you for giving us your time this evening. Can you promise me one thing though? When you release all of these amazing projects that you're working on, can you come back over here and share with us so we too can be a part of what you have going on?
Absolutely. Look, this has been amazing, and it's fun when things are going by fast. That means you're having fun. This went by fast. I'm having fun. I definitely need to come back, and I'm gonna drop a little bit of this on your audience and you, not necessarily you, because I feel like you're in this same boat. But if you have a dream in your heart, and there's something that's telling you to keep going, and that it's what you're supposed to do, take an hour every day and dedicate yourself to that dream that's in your heart. People talk about it. People are like, I want to do this. I want to do that. The hardest thing to do is to dedicate the time to do it. Take an hour every day and do whatever it is. Write. You're making beats. You're making songs. You want to write a book. You want to produce, direct. Take an hour every day and look where you'll be a month from then. Look where you'll be 3 months from then. You want to write 2 pages a day. By the end of the week, you got 14 pages. By the end of the month, you got almost your script done. Write 3 pages a day. You might have the whole script done by the end of the month. You have 90 pages. But take an hour every day and dedicate it to yourself, and you will see the difference. And when I was in that 1-bedroom apartment, I took 4 hours every day because I was like, we getting up out of here. No, do that.
Thank you.
You do that for your dream.
I had to. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Please make sure you follow Dallas Jackson right now, DJ Classics. Please make sure you're following him. Follow everything he's got going on. He's got his amazing family on his page as well. You have a beautiful family, by the way. So shout out to your family, and tell them I said thank you for letting us borrow some time from you this evening. Everybody, The System, starring Tyrese Gibson, Terrence Howard, and Jeremy Piven, comes out this Friday, November 4th on Apple TV and Prime Video. Let's all watch it together and support our new friend to the sequence, Mr. Dallas Jackson. Thank you so much.
Jealous of that stuff, man.
I promise you, I'm gonna tell you what it is, and you too can have the recipe and the secret sauce.
I have that. I need to dedicate 1 hour to myself to special effects every day.
Go eat some birthday cake and hang out with the family. We will see you really soon because you've got a lot of scripts that you're kicking out. So I'll see you next week.
I will be here. Just send me the invite. And again, sorry for my tardiness, but I'll be back.
Come on. We got you. Thank you so much, Mr. Jackson. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody, let me see some hearts of all kinds of colors for Mr. Dallas Jackson. That was Amazing. That was amazing. I listen. I thought I was hungry before the show, and I had this idea of what I wanted for dinner, but I'm so full right now. I'm so full. If you are not full, this wasn't the conversation for you. I'm full. I'm inspired. I'm motivated. So everybody do the work. That's really it. Do the work. Do the work. He's definitely going to come back here. The man is he's slinging scripts, everybody. So he's definitely coming back. There's a lot of goodness coming out. And by the way, I saw the movie. I got the movie. It's a good movie. I ain't even gonna hold you. But I also know that I can be a little bit of a spoiler because I wanted to know about the characters and what happened. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't want to do that to anybody unfairly. But I would love to see if I could set up something where we can all kind of watch it together. I don't know the possibilities of that. And I didn't want to put him on the spot just in case he wasn't sure the logistics on how we could do that. But until we can figure it out, I want all of us to I want all of you. I know I will support, although I will be supporting Prime Video and Apple TV, the release of The System November 4th. That's this Friday. So, it's getting cold outside. It's getting dark earlier. So find your little boo thing. If you don't have a boo thing, I don't have no boo thing, but I'm definitely going to get my my body pillow and my warm fuzzy blanket and watch it with all of us. So everybody, that's the show. Thank you so much for everybody that hung out and watched and listened to our amazing guest, Mr. Dallas Jackson. This show will definitely be on YouTube. If you missed a good portion of the show, I'm so sorry. You missed a time of inspiration, motivation, encouragement, love, all of that. We had a good time. And listen, I have a morning show. So for all of you that join me in the morning, we are back here tomorrow morning, 4:30 a.m. Pacific, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. And for all of you that do join in the evening, we're back here in the evening too. 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. For everybody joining in the transformation, 4 months to forever. I'm still working through, but we're almost done. And I'm so glad to have been able to pair, everybody and do what it needs to do. If you want more information on that, we start on Monday. I will give more information tomorrow about the transformation. For transformation 4 months to forever. Let me check the back office. Okay, everybody, I release you to your family because I got to go be a mom to my kids. So everybody have a good night. I've got more communications for you tomorrow. I'm not going to inundate you. I want everybody to just breathe with the information that we just received. I don't feel like piling on other stuff for you to have to think about. I want everybody to just kind of take this moment and receive everything that we got from Mr. Dallas Jackson this evening and really, really just go to bed with all of that. I hope you took notes and listen, 10 minutes after the show is over, the replay is going to be here on Instagram, and also you can find it on YouTube for all of you that like to watch your stuff on YouTube. It will be over there. So hang tight. I love you all. Thank you so much. This show is powered by the people, you. So I want to thank everybody that hits the link in the bio, for everybody that contributes to the Cash App, people that message me for Zelle information, Apple Pay, all of that stuff. I take it all. I just want to say thank you, because without you and your contribution to help me produce content, then that means I'm out. Did you hear the part when he said he was thinking about doing Uber? I really wanted to jump in there like, sir, I do Uber right now. Help me figure out how to listen. I'm going to be doing Ubering tonight, writing scripts. I'm going to be okay. What next guest can I have on? Okay, I'm going to write this script. Okay, let me call the back office. You talk about inspiration. When he said that, I was about to be like, honey, don't I know it? I'd be slinging Uber Eats. Here's your order. Here's your order. Okay, I got to call this guest. Here's your order. No, but I just want to say shout out to everybody. Some of you send me a Cash App and in your memo says no Uber. Like, y'all send me the craziest messages and I freaking love it. I really, really love it. So shout out to everybody that supports this show. It means more than you think. I'm not going to get emotional, but my gratitude is bigger than the word thank you. So thank you so much. Tomorrow's guest, for all of you that love to hear the guests in advance, tomorrow's guest, we have Mr. Glenn Marshall. He is a newscaster, a broadcaster out of Chicago that made history and is breaking the airwaves. I am so excited to tell his story and get him on the show. His swag, his professionalism, it's admirable. And trust me, we are going to have a good time. I want to thank you, a special thank you to my back office for keeping me together. Thank you for getting my marketing together. Thank you for getting just all of everything that we got to do here. Thank you to my back office for really like holding me together. Yeah, shout out to the whole room. Shout out to all my silent watchers and shout out to everybody that held down the chat. Everybody get your shoes on. Get your shoes on at the door. Please leave nothing behind. I don't need your kids' homework left here. I don't need your laptops left here. Everybody, I see you left your laptop and your chargers over there. Unplug it and get it out of here. My Con Ed bill is way too high. Do we have a Con? No, LADWP. Matter of fact, I got a bill sitting right here, and it is hella high. That's what they say here in LA. Hella high. So unplug all of your crap out of my wall. Everybody leave your drinks. You can't take your drinks with you. I don't need the police stopping you. Talk about drinking and driving and you tell them, well, listen, I was at the Natasha Simona sequence. Leave your drinks, everybody. Please throw your napkins in the garbage and your plates because that's disgusting. Throw everything in the garbage except my glasses and my silverware and all that stuff. Please leave all of that behind. My people are filing around, getting all your stuff. Who are you waiting for? Oh, your friend is using the bathroom? Well, get her on up out of here. I'm shutting the water off. Everybody, file out of here and go have a good night. I'll see you all tomorrow. I love you so much. Bye.